Jake here with another video after a little bit shorter break than last time at least. But this one is actually from one of my wife's fairly recent streams where her and I were platooned up with a Gman, as you can see up there in the Cromwell B. And then she's in her Cromwell, and I'm in what I've referred to as before as the German Cromwell, the VK 30.01D, as I take a chance to give her a shot in the back. But we're here all platooned up in a pure tier 6 game on Ghost Town. And even as I was watching this replay back, I do not have a clue what this T-78 is doing. But free damage is free damage. It gets me spotted, but quickly motoring downhill is the smart thing to do there to get away from render range. Because as you can see, I actually ducked out far enough that I knew I'd be out of render range of those people who are on the corner there at about F or G7-ish, 6-7 area. And by going downhill, it gets me up to speed fast to hopefully avoid any artillery coming in, because there are two in play on either team. Now it is just our platoon here on the eastern side of the western side of the map, and on the eastern side you can see it's just the P-43 Bis and the Bizante. That's it. Our flanks are not well secured. It's just literally our platoon on this side, so we're in a little better shape. But the other side is even worse. So just information for later. And it's something I'm paying attention to as we get ready to dogpile the enemy Cromwell. Now, as far as the VK-3001D, its gun does not do well on the move. It actually has quite good accuracy when sitting still and fully aimed, as tends to be the case with a lot of German tanks. But this one has really bad bloom on the move, and you can't count on hitting anything. And you can see me maneuvering, because after the 40 TP is gone, well, I just lost both platoon mates. And that's because the very, very typical tank destroyer positions, as you see G-Man decided to click up there, they each got taken out from, like I said, very typical tank destroyer spots. I got into cover, and unfortunately, because they didn't have shots on me, each of them got singled out, which leaves me alone on this side. Now you'd say, okay, that's not too bad. It was just a Cromwell, and then the 40 TP backing him up, and I'm taking a couple of speculative shots here. Remember, it takes 3 seconds for that 6th sense to pop up. Somebody with enough view range is sitting there, and I'm trying to tuck in behind the hill, but you can see the Hummel has a decent arc to its shot, and it absolutely just blapped me for about 300. Now I should be dark, so I'm actually going to bail. I have a nagging suspicion, and it does later prove to be true, that as soon as the enemy realizes it's just me alone, they're going to push this area. Now it takes them a long time, but with this game, the way it has been lately, honestly, and I don't mean this game specifically here on Ghost Town, but I mean World of Tanks overall, honestly, being aggressive normally gets you a loss anymore. Because you'll have teams be hyper aggressive and look like they're going to win, but it all falls apart due to just recklessness. And I'm seeing a lot of people play reckless, which in turn, I mean, you can either support the recklessness and, you know, be very aggressive at pushing, or you can fall back and be calculated and tactical. That tends to be my prerogative, is to kind of take the safe choice, fall back, keep yourself covered, and just keep the base covered. Especially now that I've lost both platoon mates, and I've also lost a third of my health. And this city has looked very, very close to falling the whole time. Especially now, it's like as I get closer, it's one Jackson has under 100 hit points, and the P-43 disc only has 25. They don't even have 100 hit points between the two of them combined. And then we have our two artillery who are sitting on the very typical perch. And we have one Jackson who's moving. And then this Basoto has been over here by himself pretty much the whole time. I'm just hoping between the two of them, the Jackson and P-43 could take down the M6, and they do. But looking at everything, we're down on hit points, and the enemy still has a couple of unspotted mediums. And outside of a couple blind shots, you typically expect those to be full health. And here's one of them. My clone. And that means that I'm not going to be able to win a duel against either of these. Because think what you want about the Shermans. The M4A3 76 is basically an E8. So that's a DPM monster. And I'm already down a third of my health, so I don't want to run into him. And I really don't want to get into a duel with that VK who's obviously going to have support. Because look at my yellow render range ring on the minimap. I'm within render range of the typical tank destroyer spot at K4. If they scoot around the edge down to K5, they can easily shoot me. Because they don't have to spot me. This VK might if I make a mistake. You see, my detection range and my detectability range is, they're overlapping because my view range is maxed out on this vehicle. You see the green and the white are both overlaying each other, so somebody who's over there to my south, they can't spot me unless they're in a singular bush that I tend to use. It's right up there on the hill at about K8. There really is a very obvious bush there. And I know that. That's why I haven't pulled back to shoot this guy. But here I'm going to eventually take the risk. I'm just hoping, honestly, that the Jackson has a line of fire on him. Or that one of our artillery will move and shoot this VK. But here, I'm going to risk it. As I back out, if I don't get spotted, which I didn't, I'm going to get to farm this guy. Which then will save our Basoto, because he's getting proximity detected in return, and he's getting splashed by artillery. That tells me two things. The bush up ahead that I tend to use when I'm on the south spawn, there's nobody in it. I'm being extra cautious just in case. Maybe they had pulled down. But that bush up ahead that I keep kind of glancing at, you can see my camera as I pan it around. This is not me doing free cam during the replay. This is my viewpoint during the game. I was looking up there and I would be spotted right now. Like right now I would have been detected as I try to make my way to the corner. And now I see the Sherman is all the way up at A3. And I'm looking at that right now. Unfortunately, he takes out our Hummel. But as I see that, that's the vehicle that had the most view range left on their team. So I'm looking to see if maybe I can get into these bushes here and maybe spot an artillery. But I see also the VK has moved around to work with their Sherman. That is immediate. I need to turn around and get back. The two Jacksons are linking up so that maybe one has some health, but I just seen. You got to notice what damage is being dealt. He just took a 214 damage hit. That is neither. I was going to say it was neither the VK nor the Sherman, and the WZ killed one of the Jacksons. So the WZ is over and they're clicking. One clicked the perch and one clicked over there at the A1 corner. So now I know I still have the WZ to deal with, as well as the Sherman. And I did not see whether the HP had updated, like if the Sherman took any hits or not. he may be absolutely full health. And I'm just pushing in because there's a couple bushes you can get to here. And as I see him, yeah, he's full health. And I'm looking to see if I can get some shots into him. I've got a Basoda to back me up. And thankfully, the armor actually worked. But the turret's not very tough on this VK. The hull saved me with one bounce. And now all I'm hoping is artillery hits, maybe Basoda hits. And the Basoda didn't. So now it's just a DPM brawl, and this is bad. There comes what is a life-saving hit. And now I see, I was like, oh great. The SU's charging. And I know that the WZ was off to my right. So here comes the WZ. And yes, absolutely, that was luck. This one was not. So now he is double tracked. The SU took the low road, which allowed me to stay up above and turn it into a 1 versus 1, except I still have that Basoda in the corner. He's still alive. He's me helping to take out the enemy VK has kept that Basoda in the game, and now he's keeping me in the game. And this is a very dangerous game of his gun almost getting on me multiple times. And this guy is actually going to go for the jump. And I do take some damage, but he missed his shot. He's tracked, repaired, but the Basoda again. The Basoda again helped me out. All because I tried, basically, because I got in a position to help him out earlier. He's definitely returned the favor. And now that absolutely horrible looking situation has turned around to, it's just the enemy Hummel. And I've got HE loaded, green shot, and it sails low and hits his tracks. But that was just a nice game of basically reacting and planning and staying alive. And of course, that was in the end an ace with a few little ribbons, and I got the Confederate out of it with about 1,000 spotting and 2,500 of my own damage. So, hope you enjoyed that. Very fun, kind of clutch game at the end, and thanks for watching.